It's been a few weeks, but we're back. This is Glenn with Big Jack. We apologize for not being here the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, we actually recorded a video, but the file got fucked up, so we did not have a video. And then last week, time just got away from us, but we are back. Full disclosure: 2 weeks ago, we each went 1-2, and then last week we bounced back with a really good week, going 5-1 overall. That actually takes our show to over 500 for the first time on the season, which is great. Um, on the season, I'm 19-13. Big Jack's 14-18-1. As we move forward towards Week 12 here, this NFL season, it goes by too quickly. Jack, how you feeling as we get to over 500?
Still fighting. I mean, you're carrying us. It's good to say that as a collective, we're finally above 500. Probably still a little negative as far as losing the juice, but yeah, myself, 14, 18-1. Considering where I started, I guess I sort of I'll take it. I'm still in position to kind of keep fighting down the stretch, and hopefully we can end up positive by the time it's all said and done. Like you said, it's moving fast, moving quick, hot and heavy, but we're definitely into that time of year, late November, Thanksgiving, like we kind of talk about at the start of the season. This is when you should be able to have a good amount of confidence in, however you're sort of whatever you're looking at to analyze things and how you feel your feelings about all these teams. Hopefully you got a good idea and can rely a little bit more on the data set that we've been given.
Yeah, I had a tough time coming up with picks this week too. I think there's 6 teams on a bye, which makes things a little bit tougher. But really had a tough time with the board this week. Some injuries also making some things tougher. Um, Quick little teaser: I like the Niners, but just didn't have the balls to take them with Purdy out and a couple other injuries, really setting them back. But they're in a spot where they got to win now if they want to try to get in the playoffs. So I do kind of like them in that spot. Just don't have the balls to take them. With that being said, let's get into the picks. My first pick of the week. I did this last week, even though we didn't have a video. I did this for the first time last week for the season. I went on a team total. I won it. It was the Detroit Lions. They obviously killed the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to run it back with a team total. I'm going to go the Washington team total over 28.5 versus the Dallas Cowboys. I know it's a divisional game. I know the Cowboys, with their game plan, they'll probably think they'll have to keep the Commanders from scoring a ton. But I just don't think the Cowboys' defense is very good. Over the last 5 games, they've given up a ton of points. I think Dan Quinn's going to be itching to beat Mike McCarthy's ass on the football field. And I think the Commanders are going to run it up. So I'm going to go Commanders over 28.5 as my first pick of the week.
Well, we're going to be slightly conflicted. First, to your note about the Niners, I like them a lot this week as well. I'm not going to be on them, but it's mostly because I don't think the Packers are very good.
Same.
You know, Giving up a little less than a touchdown. It's at 5.5 right now, even with the Brandon Allen announcement. I think it's attractive to people to be like, oh, the 49ers are kind of down. They're not as good as people may have thought, and their quarterback's out. The Packers are going to kill them. I don't know, man. I like you said, I don't have the balls to bet it, so maybe I don't feel as strong as I am speaking right now. But the Packers just aren't that good, so I don't. I think it's a decent play if anyone was to go that route. I'm on the Cowboys plus 10.5. That's my first pick of the week. I don't. It's. I hate to say it, but my feeling is kind of almost exact opposite of yours with that team total of the over. Um, I don't know. There's been a lot of regression from Jaden Daniels the past month, 5 weeks, a little over a month. He has not looked like the same quarterback that he did early on in the season. I don't know if that's the injury he's dealing with. I don't know if that's teams getting film on him, knowing his tendencies, combination of the two. I'm sure that, it's probably a combination, but I just think this is a case where you give me the Dallas Cowboys, as bad as they've been, you give me a Micah Parsons led defense, getting 10.5 points against a rookie quarterback in a divisional game. I got to take it. I don't love the pick. I'm not overly confident in it. I just think it doesn't make sense to me that the Commanders are giving up this many points. I don't think they're that type of team to cover that number. Hopefully, we both find a way to get a win in this one.
There is a way for both of us to win.
Maybe the Commanders get to 30 and, the Cowboys stick around, hang at 21 or something. I don't love the Cowboys offense. Cooper Rush had a lot of success in the past, but the way that he was able to lean on the run game a few years ago when he had that success is not available at this point in time. But I still think he's a much more competent backup than people probably give him credit for, the way that it's looked these last couple weeks. I think they find a way to hang in the game. I will concede to your point about Quinn kind of wanting to go after, his former team. But I don't know if it's a situation where he sort of had a resurgence in Dallas, man. I feel like I don't know if he's on bad terms with them.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that.
I could almost see a little bit of a take the foot off the throttle type of situation. If they're up, late, I could see him not necessarily wanting to run it up, but we'll see what happens. It's a lot of points for a rookie quarterback. And I think that, I could see Micah Parsons causing some havoc.
All valid points, Jack. There's a way we both win. There's a way we both lose. Let's hope it goes the way we both win, or at least one of us wins. All right, on to my second pick of the week. I'm going to go another divisional game. Going to go on an under this time. I'm going to go on the under 47.5 in the Arizona Cardinals-Seattle Seahawks game. I think Arizona's sneaky, one of the hotter teams in the NFL right now. I think they've won 4 in a row, granted not against the strongest competition. Seattle's kind of like a different team every week that you see them. Don't necessarily have a side I love in this game, but just divisional game, I think that's a lot of points. Decent to solid offenses, but just when you see these divisional games, I like a lower total than that 47.5 number. Give me that under 47.5 in that game.
I like it. Like you said, that division is wide open. I mean, all 4 teams are
within a game.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, honestly. It's pretty. It'll be exciting to see how it all finishes out. I like that angle. I looked at this game and kind of liked the Cardinals. I like them coming off the bye. Like you said, they've been rolling. I've picked against Seattle at home a number of times, and I think I'm undefeated on those picks, maybe 2-0 only, something like that. But they've been oddly bad at home and better on the road. That proved to be true again last week, winning at San Francisco with that comeback down the stretch. I don't know. I could see teams kind of wanting to, they both have pretty solid ground games. I could see them, keeping it under that number. I think it's a savvy play. I'm going to go in that division, like we just mentioned. I'm going to take the Rams on Sunday Night Football. I don't typically love to pick those primetime games. I feel like there's just so much public money in general on those primetime spots. It's, harder for me to get a read on things, I feel like, but I like the Rams at home, getting 3 points. Eagles have been rolling, but this is right about the time of year last year where that team started to fall apart for whatever reason down the stretch of the season. I'm hoping we get a little bit of that same regression this weekend. And like we said, that NFC West is wide open, so the Rams are going to have to they know they're going to have to keep winning to stay in it. They're 5-5 right now. So they, probably can't afford to drop to 5-6 with either the Seahawks or the Cardinals are guaranteed one of them is going to get a win this weekend. So I don't know. I like the Rams to show up at home. I think the Eagles are kind of, rolling the way that they are. I think people will view that as a, attractive bet, only laying 3 against a Rams team that's been a little spotty at best. I don't know. I like the McVay Fangio matchup, and I think McVay gets the best of them.
I'm going Oppo. I'm going Philadelphia -3. I think it's better team. Hungry dog in the Rams, but I think Philly's just better. I think 3 points is enough points, which maybe I should be thinking, oh shit, that's a trap. They want you to take Philly. I don't know. I'm on Eagles. We're going head to head. Eagles -3.
Hey man, this might be the first time all year we've gone head to head, which is crazy that we've made it this long without being enemies. But yeah, well, that's good. I guess one of us will get the win, or it could push. You never know.
Never know.
But yeah, I think it'll be a great game. We'll see what happens, baby. My last pick, I was on them last week. I'm riding them again. I'm taking the Bears. It's crazy. I very rarely pick them. I feel good about them this week again. They should have won outright last week. No need to get into all that bullshit. But I like them against the Vikings. The Vikings have been winning games, credit to them, but they haven't looked great against a lot of these past 3 weeks. They've had those AFC South games. They looked like shit against Jacksonville. They beat them, but Jacksonville's horrible. They didn't look great against Indy or Tennessee. They've been getting wins. Credit to them. That's what it's all about in this league. I think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach, but I think that teams are figuring out Sam Darnold a little bit. I still think Sam Darnold's a legitimate quarterback. I don't think it's fair to say oh, this is the real Sam Darnold starting to show up. I think he's just a fine quarterback. He's pretty good. But I think that the Bears got a little momentum, a little juju going on the offensive side of the football with Shane Waldron out of the building. I think Caleb Williams is hopefully playing a little looser. At least it seemed that way last week. I think that bodes well for the team. And I just like them to compete at home. I know they laid an egg against the Patriots 2 weeks ago now, which was, baffling to say the least. But at the same time, they've lost these last 2 games. They lost by a point on a missed field goal to end the game last week, and they were carrying the longest home win streak in the NFL into that Patriots game 2 weeks ago. They're good at home. They compete. Even in these years where I feel like the Bears have had worse football teams, they've grabbed one from the Vikings. They always seem to play well against that divisional opponent. You're giving me 3.5 at home. I trust the Bears too. I think they win the game outright, so I'll take the 3.5.
I want to love it, Jack. I really do. And we'll get into it in the Bears video, but I think this game's got disaster written all over it. I think coming off a heartbreak with the blocked field goal, you saw how they responded to heartbreak after the Commanders lost. Granted, probably a little more heartbreak on that one. I think there's a chance that the offense looks terrible in this game against that Brian Flores defense. I'll be pulling for you. I'll be tailing you. I'll be rooting for the Bears, but I'm worried about this week, if I'm going to be honest with you, my man. So
I wouldn't be that worried. Brian Flores is a fucking dork.
All right. Well, quick recap for everybody at home. Me and Jack are going against each other on the Rams and Philadelphia game. I'm on the Eagles. He's on the Rams. And then I'm on the Washington team total over 28.5 and the under in the Arizona at Seattle game, which is currently at 47.5. Jack is on the Cowboys plus 10.5 and the Bears plus 3.5. Those are the picks. Like and subscribe. If you're new here, we'll be back with the Chicago Bears kind of update video recap the last week or two. And looking forward to this week's game versus the Minnesota Vikings. Jack, any last words for the fans at home?
Oh, let's find some winners this week, one way or another, baby.
Yeah, let's build on that above 500 record and add to our bankroll. Hit it for them one time.
Bears.